Hello! You're in for a treat.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays.
2 West.
6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
We got new hours because we're nerdish.
And we're in our 20s despite our looks, so we gotta do things in the evening time over the summer.
Correct. But not too late because, as Levi said, we're in our mid-20s.
Not our early 20s.
And not our late 20s. The mid-20s.
Yes, we're the Goldilocks of 20s.
That's right, I shouldn't have laughed. I gotta keep it cool, because this is our intro rap, where we keep things cool.
We're very cool, so cool we might want a dance break.
Hey, thanks for watching our dance break.
Now, back to the really serious stuff.
Like Brady
And Levi.
and Brady too. We're the 3 members of the Nerdish crew.
That was perfect. We didn't plan that.
Not at all. We don't plan anything. If you couldn't tell by this rap. That was the one thing we rhymed.
That was the one thing.
Which makes it a rap.
Yes, all raps have one rhyme.
We'll see you on 2 West.
Yes. 2 West
6, 7:30 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Keep watching, because it'll turn into us, but probably not wearing the wigs.
Yes, and we'll be much more responsive to whatever you have to say.
You could ask us questions right now. We will not answer them.
Also, we take no responsibility for anything we've done in this pre-recorded session.
Yes. Any lost items, Nerdish is not responsible.
Right, we don't have anything to do with it. We're very different people in the present than we are from when we're recording this video. You might say we are the pupae of Nerdish right now, and in the future we will be the moths.
The
Because moths are the
disgusting
most-
gray moths.
Yes, those gray moths that you hear, they're
Yeah.
like the bats of the flying community.
The wings are leathery. They're leathery wings.
Very leathery.
They're basically butterflies, but we hate them.
Yes.
They're the rodents of butterflies.
This is true.
Right?
Just like the ACT is the rodent of the SAT.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
Guess who's back? Back. It's
Bird is back
in the streaming.
Kind of ruined the rhythm there.
Did I? Koozie, what's up? Koozie questions. Let's do it. Yes? Anything interesting happened to you today, Koozie?
Yeah, Kuzi. Besides me being back, and then Levi just brutally interrupting me as I sang my I'm Back song.
Brutally interrupted.
Please do the one I just posted most recently.
The most recent one that you just posted most recently?
He did say please. Please do the one
Please.
I just posted most recently.
Wait.
Please.
Koozie, how you doing, by the way?
Hey, not Kuzi. Levi told you. Yeah, it was great. I saw a comedian named Tom Segura, and I find him quite funny. And I thought his show was very funny. If you must know, I'm doing okay. Good. Yeah, Levi was not a... Levi couldn't come because he had a stream. I did invite him, though. I did invite him, and he said, oh, that'd be fun. Where and when is it? And I said, I don't know. Let me check the tickets.
I already told him.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want to tell the story.
Well, it's too bad. You did the story.
He told us, yeah, apparently he did. I did the story. Hey, Levi, Brady, and Chad, how is it going? Hello, Slayer
That's
Darth.
a Slayer Darth intro if I ever heard one.
Yeah, you can say that again.
That's a Slayer Darth, but I won't. Okay, you're up, Bird.
All right. I'm currently delving into the wonderful world of mathematical proofs. Good luck with your delving. We will be doing SAT questions. Interesting. All right. I'm going to read it off this side here. The florist needs at least 1/3 gallons of nutrient-rich water for each bushel of flowers he buys. Thank you, the Oxford comma. I like that. With $120 to spend this week, the florist purchases F bushels of flowers at $1.19 per bushel and W gallons of nutrient-rich water at 50 cents per gallon. The equations related to these two constraints are graphed left. How many bushels of flowers and gallons of nutrient-rich water could he buy? All right, so first off, as far as this whole, when are we going to use math in real life? I deal with buying nutrient-rich water all the time. I bought nutrient-rich water like 3 times this week already. All right, so none of this like math isn't useful business right here. This is it. All right, how many bushels could he buy? So we have an inequality here, and it looks like, let's just take a look at, oh, interesting. We have 2 lines, and these 2 lines tell us a couple of different things. On the y-axis, we have gallons of nutrient-rich water, and on the x-axis, we have bushels of flowers. So this is actually kind of related in economics. It's called the production possibilities curve. And the way that this works is you have limited resources and you're going to make 2 different products. So let's say, I think the example they usually give are pizza and robots, because the robots are something you could make to make pizza. That just gets confusing. Let's say you can make pizza or ice cream, okay? And you have the capability of making both. You cannot make, you have a limited amount of time, limited amount of resources, so you can either go all in on pizza and devote all your time and resources to pizza, and you'll make the most amount of pizza you can make. Or you can go all in on ice cream and make the most amount of ice cream that you can make, or you can go somewhere in between. As you make both of them, the less ice cream you make, the more pizza you can make. The less pizza you make, the more ice cream you can make. So what we have here is a curve that shows us the limit of what we can make of each of these things. Now, there's 2 different lines here. The equations related to these 2 constraints are graphed left. Okay, he needs at least 1/3 gallons of nutrient water. Okay, with $100 to spend this week, F bushels of flowers and W gallons at 50 cents per gallon. The equation is how many bushels of flowers you reach by. I see what's going on. Okay, so there's 2 things happening, which is how much he could buy of each and in between, but also he wants to buy a certain amount of both to cover how many bushels of flour he buys. Because you don't want to buy way more nutrient-rich water if you're not going to need that much for the amount of, flowers that you buy. Like, you want them to balance each other out so that you're buying as much water as you need for the flowers that you're buying, not more and not less. Otherwise, it would be dumb to buy way too much water and not as many flowers. You did not spend your money wisely. So what we have here are 2 curves, one of which shows us how many of each we could buy. The other one shows us how much we're going to need of one for the other one to work. So let's look at this for a sec. We have this bottom curve, this flat, low curve. And if you get to the end of it, which is all the way on the right side, that's 120 bushels of flowers and 40 gallons of nutrient-rich water. That's what that point is all the way over there. Let's make sure we understand what that means. It says that we need 1/3 gallons of nutrient-rich water for every bushel of flour he buys. That's what this line represents. When you get to 120 bushels of flowers, he's going to need 1/3 of a gallon for each of those, which means in total he's going to need 40 gallons, because 40 is 1/3 of 120. So that bottom line tells us how much of one he's going to need based off of the other. To have this amount of bushels of flowers, he's going to need this amount of nutrient-rich water to support that. And then this other line is going to represent how much of each he could buy if he could just spend as much money as he wanted. So you have $120 to spend this week, and let's say he goes all in on nutrient-rich water. So if he has $120. 120 in total, and he's buying nutrient-rich water, which costs 50 cents per gallon. We would divide that by 50 cents, and that would give us 240. So the most of the nutrient-rich water he could buy is 240, which is why it's all the way up there. Let's imagine that he devoted all of his money instead to buying the other thing, which is flowers in terms of bushels. If you took all of his money and divided it by 1.19, the amount of flowers that he could buy would be around, it looks like around 100. Yeah, this is almost 1.2. So this is going to be around 100 bushels of flowers. So this is gallons, and this is bushels. So those are the 2 limits for how many bushels of flowers he can buy, how many gallons of water he could buy. Okay, so it says, how many bushels of flowers and gallons of nutrient-rich water could he buy? And let's see what we got here. He can buy 120 bushels of flowers and 20 gallons of nutrient-rich water. Okay, so that's a problem right there, because he can buy about 120 bushels of flowers, but he can buy 240 gallons of nutrient-rich water. So that is not what A tells us. 100 bushels of flowers and 80 gallons of nutrient-rich water. Yeah, that's also not right, because, again, we can buy 240 gallons of nutrient-rich water. Oh, I see what they're saying. Okay, could he buy? They're not asking us for the limits. They're asking us for different situations and saying, does he have the money to afford these things? So let me draw this out here. Just like with money, you don't have to spend all of it. You could spend all your money on hot dogs, or you could spend less of it on less hot dogs. So it turns into like an inequality situation. So if this is the water, and this is the flowers, this represents the max number of flowers you can buy. Wow, I just put that. Oh, Levi, we have to rewrite that rectangle. That was important. So that was the number of flowers you could buy. That's the max. You could also buy any combination inside here. This line here is the limit. So if you go over that line, you don't have the money to buy any of these possibilities, any of these combinations of flowers and water, but you can go underneath it. So the question's asking, which one of these combinations are you allowed to actually buy? Which one do you have the money to buy? So this gets us to 100, and this gets us up to 240. So let's see if we can figure out which combination we could actually buy. 120 bushels of flowers. And, well, right there, you can't buy 120 bushels of flowers because you can only buy 100 bushels of flowers with your money. That's what that steeper curve tells us, is the amount you can buy with your money, so you can't buy that many. Even if you put all your money into flowers, you could buy that many. 100 bushels of flowers, you can buy that, and 80 gallons of nutrient-rich water. No. If you buy 100 bushels of flowers, you're putting all of your money in on that. You cannot get any water if you are at that point right there. 60 bushels of flowers and 40 gallons of nutrient-rich water. We'll take a look at where that would be on the graph. If you go to 60, which is on the x-axis, and you go over to 40 gallons of water and you find where that point is, that is underneath that line, which means, yes, you can buy that amount. You'll have some money left over, but you can buy that amount. And let's try the last one, 80 bushels of flowers and 10 gallons. So 10 gallons is going to be halfway right there. That also falls underneath your curve. 80 bushels of flowers and 10 gallons of nutrient-rich water. Okay. Okay. So that means that C and D are both affordable. You can get those. So it should be above the lower line and below the upper line. That is an interesting... Okay, it's got to be below the upper line. I want to see that. Okay. So it almost looks like, if you think of independent variable and dependent variable, he buys the bushels of flowers first, and then he buys the amount of water that he needs based off of that afterward. So he bought, we said for C, if he bought 60 bunches of flowers, bushels, and 40 gallons of water, that would be more water than he would need. He wouldn't need that much. So if he got 80 bushels of flowers, but he only got 10, oh yeah, 10 is too little. You'd have to have more than that. You'd have to have 1/3 of 80 in order to have enough water to water your bushels of flowers. So with C, you're going to end up with a little bit more water than you need, but that is okay. You're going to have more than enough water for your flowers. You don't want to have less than that because then your bushels of flowers are going to die. So C is the only one that's actually affordable and will give you enough water for the amount of flowers that you buy. I thought it said at least 1/3. I didn't know it said at least 1/3. I thought it just said 1/3.
I missed you, Bird.
I know, that was a long problem.
Yeah.
It needs at least 1/3 gallons of water. Yeah, okay, so that means that you could be above that, yes, below the upper line. Not koozie, exactly right. You want to be below the upper line. All you really need is the graph. Yeah, I think you have to understand which line means what, because there is a price line, negotiator, and then there's also the how much of one you need for the other line. It's so clear now. Well, that's because the board is made of glass. Levi, take over.
Very good, Koozie. Very well good done. Very goodly done. Okay, I'm going to hop to an SAT question real quick. Or SAT Discord question, because I like it. And because nobody's answered it. What time are we at in the stream right now? About 15 in? Okay. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We gotta wash these rags, by the way. And by we, I mean you should wash them, because I don't feel like it, because I thought of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so this problem is hard if you're trying to do algebra the whole time. You don't really need too much algebra in this question. You actually don't need any, in my opinion, aside from just, understanding what variables are, I guess. So you are given the information that you have a linear equation and then you have an exponential equation, right? You have this y equals mx plus b guy, then you have this y equals ab to the x power guy. And so they give you 2 points that they both pass through. You could, as a result, find these equations and figure them out, but it's not worth it. It's because that's going to take a long time. Even the linear equation might take a little bit too long. So let's graph them and see what's going on here, because it's actually super helpful. So they both go through the points 1, 3, and 2, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have this point here, 1, 3. Oh, I should have done this differently. Whatever. 1, 3, and then we have 2, 4. Right? Isn't it B? Yes, Cookie. Did we do this the other day? Did I just do this the other day and then forget about it? Because that's also possible. So this is the linear equation here that I'm drawing. Right? So that's our line. You don't think we did? Okay. So we have y equals mx plus b here. I'll write that here. Y equals mx plus b. And then the other guy I'll do in yellow. We have this exponential. Now, exponentials, as we know, go like that, right? So for it to go through these 2 points, I'm not sure exactly where this will be, but it doesn't really matter too much. It goes through here, and it's kind of there, and then it'll pop out the top over there, right? And this is y equals ab to the x power, right? So those are our 2 equations right here, and now we've graphed them, and we know they go through these 2 points. That actually helps a ton. This is 1, 3. This is 2, 4. Because the question is asking us if the point RS is on the graph of the linear equation here. So there's a point somewhere on there, R, comma, S. So this has the point R, comma, S. This has the point R, comma, T. And now we need to figure out, and we're told that S, this is a big deal. I think we did a problem just like this, though, the other day. I sort of remember this. S is greater than T. If S is greater than T, then that means that this point has to be higher up than this point, right? Because S is more than T, the Y value will pull it up more. So this point has to be somewhere, maybe it'll be right here, or maybe it'll be right here. But we know that on this line is where we have S, which is greater than T. So that means that R is our x value has to be between here. R is going to be between, I don't know why I did it that way, 1 and 2. Right? Because we have RS, it's got to be here because this is the only section of either of these 2 graphs going in either direction where the y value of the linear function is greater than the y value of the exponential function. And you don't actually have to plug in and solve, and figure out what these equations actually look like because we graphed them. Okay, I think this problem is cool because it looks scary, but at the end of the day, it's not too bad because when you graph them, you can visualize it very easily. So the answer would be B because R has to be between 1 and 2. They said R has to be between 0 and 4, so great, we know it's somewhere there. But it can't be here because then S is less than T. It has to be here. Can't be there. S is less than T. Anybody have any questions on that? It seems like not. So I'm going to pull up another question for Bird to do.
Yeah.
You're good. Yes, you are, Kuzi. Yes, you are. Do you want us to go back to your older questions or no? We can do whatever you want. Yes, please. Old Kuzi questions. Also, anybody else who's here, let me know, and we will do your questions if you have them. Are these Kuzis? Yeah, this is the giant Kuzi question dump. Forget what we've done. Have we done this one, Kuz? Oh. Have we done this one? Do you want to do this one? I forget. I don't remember doing this. I think we have not. No, we haven't. Great. Bird,
Yes.
let's see how you do with this question.
Ha! You think I cannot do it?
I think you're going to have a ton of trouble. But you can do it because determination is everything.
Because what's grit? Determination?
Yes.
Perseverance?
Perseverance. Persever, my dear.
Which of the following is equivalent to the above X? We have the above X. We had a couple different answers here. Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. I don't think I need it. It probably says expression.
Yeah, it says
Anyway.
expression and then it says fart noise in brackets.
Right.
Yeah.
And like a little head, like, right?
Yep.
Very good. We're mature. We're definitely in our mid-20s. When does it become late 20s? Is it when you're 27?
When the 20s mature a little bit more. I think when the 20s die, you're in your late 20s. Right? If you're in your 30s, you're technically in your late 20s because your 20s have died.
I try to feel nothing sometimes when I listen to you. I do my best to just feel nothing.
How's that
Anyway.
go for you? Do you mean you repress and dissociate?
I think I'd like to.
Okay.
Let's look at what's going on here. They clearly factored some stuff. That's how they got their answers. So what they want us to do here is factor. So let's see what we can do. Let's take some bites out of it. We don't have to do all of it at once. Don't think you do. I love this marker. P36M is equal. No, sorry, minus 75. Minus 75 Q to the 16 N. Okay, very interesting, very interesting. Well, let's first look at these coefficients. Cookie God, 69, I don't know, we're gonna see. 243 and 75. I believe that those are both divisible by 3. So I will take a 3 out of both of them. If I take a 3 out of the first one, we're going to get, let me think about this, 75 times, no, 80 times 3 is 24. 81. Here we go, we got 81. So we have 3 times 81 P to the 36M minus 25 to the Q, not to the Q, 16N. All right, so we take out a 3, all right? Now this is interesting. 81 is a square number, as is 25. They're being subtracted from each other, and 36 is a square number, and so is 16n. So what I'm thinking here is we have a difference of squares. Difference of squares, x squared minus 16, and then the pattern turns it into x plus 4, x minus 4. That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong. I'm not, but I could be. Sorry if that came off a little cocky, but this is difference of squares. Just deal with it. All right, so we have to split this thing up. Square root of this is going to be 9p to the 18m.
Wait, is Cam here?
Is Cam here? And then we're going to do the plus. We'll do the plus first, and then the minus afterward. Not that it matters. Plus 5q to the 8n. And then the other quantity is going to be that, which is minus 9p to the 18m minus 5q to the 8n. All right? The middle terms will cancel when you FOIL these out, and if you multiply 9p to the 18m times 9p to the 18m, that'll give you 81p to the 36m. That's what we started with. And this will give you 25q to the 16n because of exponent properties. So let's see if this is an answer. We have... Is this an answer? It looks like B. It looks like B. We have 2 3s in both of these, which is weird. You wouldn't put them like that. And then they have the wrong exponents in A. So yes, it is B. Cookie God. You are a cookie god. That's what you are. God of the cookies. I guess that's what you'd be. Very good. Very good. Cabin Boy Cam is here, Levi. He says, I'm here. I was studying so hard, I forgot what time it was. That is some hard studying.
That's some very hard studying.
Absolutely.
We're a very soft stream, so that makes sense. You got to keep hard and soft in equal measure.
Yep. It's a
like-
soft but thick stream.
Yeah, and fun and flirty.
Fun, flirty, and also free. The three
Also,
Fs.
Cam, I assume you're Cam whatever in the Discord. So
Cam, whatever.
yes. I just saw now that you posted in the math section of the Discord during the stream last night. So during stream, post in the questions for stream channel, just because that's where I'll see them, or that's where we'll see them.
Yes.
But we'll hop over to that, and you don't have to repost them. We will do that now. Mathematics.
Mathematics.
Happiness in disguise. All right. And if you figured any of these out, just let me know, or let us know. Sorry, I'm used to being just me because it was just me last night because you left me.
Right. For a comedy show.
Comedy. All right.
You just say comedy in a funny voice.
I did it in the Bo Burnham voice, the way he says it during his special, one of his specials. Special.
I wanna be special. But I'm a
After these questions, can you go over plural and singular? Yes. Sorry. Brady got back and he just erased the lineup of questions I had, and then I had totally forgotten by then. So I had a word with Brady, and we're docking his pay for the evening.
We as in you and I?
Yes, you and I are docking your pay together.
I didn't sign up to have my pay docked.
No, your pay is going to be docked.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yep.
you should have said so.
Yes, and then we will do that. So we'll do this, then we'll do plural singular. We'll just go to the test that whoever sent to me yesterday sent to me. We'll just do that test because I have it up. Unless you want me to do specific ones. You guys know what plural and singular mean. So I'm not going to go over that, but we can go over the questions unless you want me to talk about the actual difference between plural and singular words. In which case, I will do that extremely quickly and then not come back to it. Okay, so we have this stuff up here, and we need to be careful. This is almost normal exponent rules, but it's not quite, okay? So if we have x to the a squared power, this does not equal x to the 2a power, because this does not allow you to do power rule. You would have to have x to the a squared. Because if you break this down, you would get x to the a times x to the a. What are you doing here? Are you serious?
I'm trying to learn.
Get out of here.
Get out of this place.
My gosh.
Get out of this place.
Do you know how doors work? Do you want me to show you how that door works?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Very good.
All right, so this is x to the a times x to the a, which by product rule, you just add them together, you get x to the 2a, right? So that's why this guy works. Who is that? Don't worry about it. I'd tell you, but then I'd have to, I wouldn't kill you. That was Susie. Yes, that was Susie. Yes, that phenomenal guess.
Sue's word.
Sue's word. I think that's Cam's mom. That's funny. Are you guys all friends, or you just make that up, Cookie? Okay, so this is not what we're allowed to do. Susie's your mom. Oh no, Cam's mom. Never mind. Whatever. So we have x to the a squared over x to the b squared. The exponent rule we can use is quotient rule, so that's what we'll do. So we have x to the a squared over x to the b squared. So that will give us x to the a squared minus b squared by quotient rule. Yeah? Now, we have x is greater than 1. That's, I don't know why they put that there. Let's ignore it for now. We know x has to be positive. Sure. Now, this is interesting. This a squared minus b squared. The math section, just like everything else in life, is about recognizing things. Like when you meet people, you need to recognize them. That's why, like, oh, shut up. That's so stupid. I'm just a random. What? Oh, they might. I'm just a random. Cookie. That was some atrocious use of, or lack of use of grammar that totally ruined all of it. Yes, we are all friends here. That's right. Everybody's friend. Okay. We need to recognize here that a squared minus b squared is a difference of squares. This is very important to remember this because it helps. This is the only way to really do this problem.
That's what I did on the last problem.
Did you?
1 all 3 1 all.
Oh, got it. Thanks. So x to the a to the b, or x to the a squared minus b squared, is the same thing as x to the a plus b times a minus b power, right? Because this is the difference of these two, right? Difference of two squares. It's not the difference of these two. What am I saying? It's a plus b times a minus b. That is a rule. You need to memorize that. Now, this equals x to the 16th. Interesting. Now we have the same bases, and now we have two powers. Hey, Fatality, what's up? Put in your questions. We can get to them before you go to sleep. So now we know that because the bases are the same, the exponents must be the same. So we have a plus b times a minus b equals 16. And they tell us what a plus b is. It's 2. And they want to know what a minus b is. So we put in 2 for a plus b. Then we have a minus b. Then we have 16. Let's divide everything by 2. And we get a minus b equals 8. That is our answer. It's A. Okay. Yes, I did know exactly what I was going to do this problem because I've seen this problem so many times. But let's assume you haven't seen the questions you're going to do on the official ACT or SAT a bunch of times. Our first thought needs to be clearly exponents, right? We have exponent stuff here. There are only 5 or 6 things, exponent rules that you need to know. So just go through them. Number 42 of yesterday. Ah, yes, that's what the other one was. Okay, so we have singular and plural. And then we have number 42. Cool. Because those were both yesterday. Very good, Fatality. Now, exponent rules, we think, okay, well, we know power rule won't work here because we don't have the parentheses. And then we do quotient rule. And then we might want to do, a system of equations because we have this one equation, this first one here, and then we have a plus b equals 2. But we have x, a, and b. We have 3 variables and only 2 given equations. So we will not be able to solve for all of our variables. I'm very well, Fatality. Thank you. Bird is here, but he's sitting over there because he doesn't know how to do this problem. Because he's a bird. And birds don't know how to do math. So we know we can't solve for individual variables. So this is actually, I think, what we were talking about at the very beginning of stream yesterday, which is being able to manipulate equations without actually solving for individual variables. We just manipulated what we had here to end up with just a minus b. I don't know what a is, I don't know what b is, but I know that the difference is 8. Okay? And we broke it down. We had to recognize that this is a difference of squares. We had to recognize that. If we don't recognize it, we're cooked. And then from there, we can plug in for a plus b, moves to the side. Okay? This is a very common question type. Okay? Maybe not exponents, but equations where you can't solve for individual variables, but they're not asking you for them. They're asking you for some combination of them with different operations, and you have to just make one side of the equation look like that. That's what we did. Okay, Bird.
Yes.
We got some singular versus plural stuff here. You want to do that or no?
Yes.
You do? I'm very proud of you.
I'm not just a math guy.
No. You're a math bird. Dang it. Okay, I know we have number 42 after we do singular and plural. Unless 42 is singular and plural. Who's to say? Nobody could possibly know.
Not me. Cool guy number 2. That's how I think of myself in my mind. I'm cool guy number 2. Even before I started working with Levi.
Yeah.
I've always thought that. Cabin boy. De-stress yourself. You know what we always say. If you're stressed out, repress and dissociate. Then you'll feel fine.
You actually won't feel anything.
You'll lose the capacity for joy. But, it's a small sacrifice to make to not feel stress. I like this. Singular and plural, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Thinks about depression. Side effects include thinking about depression. What are we doing here with this big box?
Huh?
What number am I doing?
Well, they know what singular versus plural is, so I'm thinking we just show them some questions that have them decide between singular and plural stuff. Do you want verb stuff?
Would that...
Cam, you gotta stop thinking about depression.
What else would singular and plural pop up as?
I don't know. Has, will, explain, explains. Okay, number 6.
That sounds good. I can do number 6.
Maybe.
Watch me. Just watch me. All right, number 6. What do we have here? For Maggie Merchant, a medical writer at a biotechnology company, responsibilities include writing consumer manuals that explains the technology behind new products and how they should be used. Brady, do a backflip. Huh, over my dead body. And the reason my body is dead is because I did a backflip. So that's a catch-22, which means we can't do it. Sorry. All right, so if you take a look at these answers, we have explains, explain, has explained, will have explained. And you might say, okay, there's some tense stuff going on. Has explained is, that's present perfect. And then you have will have, that's future perfect. So like, well, how do we use that? But there's also something else going on, which is subject-verb agreement. Okay? Explains and explain are both present tense. The only difference is that one of them is for a plural subject, one of them is for a singular subject. So we have to figure out what our subject is in order to figure out what our verb is going to be. So we're looking for the thing that explains the technology behind new products. So responsibilities include writing consumer manuals that explain or explains the technology. It's consumer manuals. Those are the things that explain or explains the technology, okay? Consumer manuals, that's plural, manuals, okay? So if you just read directly from the subject to the verb, consumer manuals explains or consumer manuals explain. You'll probably know just by hearing it that it should be explain. However, if you don't, you can replace it with they, because they is plural, and thus the verbs you'd put with they would be the same you'd put with consumer manuals. So if I say they explains, we know that's not right. They explain the technology. That's what we want to do here. Likewise, if you have a singular subject, and just by reading it you're not sure which verb should go with it, you can replace it with it. It is singular. It explain or it explains. Oh, it explains. Exactly. Yeah, so that's some subject and verb business. Now, the hard part sometimes is like, you might have a subject followed by a bunch of information and then the verb. Like you might say, the cat's under the table made of wood is/are brown. Here, let me just make a simple one here so you'll see what I'm talking about. The cat's under the table is/are brown. This marker is slowly failing me. That's probably because of the they in front of it. Yeah, exactly. Not they in front of the noun, but you use they as the noun and hear what verb makes sense with it. The cat's under the table is/are brown. So a lot of students look at the word right before and they say, okay, table is brown, table are brown. Oh, it's table is brown. We're done. Because if you just say, hey, the table is brown, that sounds really good. However, that's not the thing that's brown. It's the cat's. The cat's under the table is/are brown.
Also, tables can't be brown. I'll go.
Tables are brown.
Nope, no tables are brown.
All right, well, I'm not going to listen to that. So what we have here is the subject is much earlier, then we have all this crap in the middle. So if you realize that that's what's going on, if you're reading it out loud to yourself, your brain might lose track of what the original subject was. So just don't even read this when you're trying to figure out the answer. Just go straight from the subject to the verb. The cat's is brown. Absolutely not. The cats are brown. What this is here is a preposition. Under is a preposition, making under the table a prepositional phrase, which just gives us some information about cats. It doesn't change the fact that the subject is about the cats. It just tells us, where are the cats? Which is an age-old question. Where are the cats? They're under the table. And they're brown. Prepositional phrase. Exactly, Cabin Boy Cam. Any questions on that? Prepositional phrases, prepositions, what they are, how we use them, how they use us. Can we use them to harness some kind of prepositional energy to power our energy infrastructure? What are those? That's a good question. Very good question. Okay. Prepositions are words that explain the relationship between two nouns, typically. So you've got a bunch of them. This pen is not great. Fantastic. You got words like this. This is a very, very short list. Yeah. And is a preposition, isn't it? No, it is not. And is a conjunction. And is not a preposition. Okay? So, like, I'd say, like, the troll under the bridge, or the sack of marbles, or the man across the river. These all tell us where things are in relationship to each other. So these are called prepositions because they prepose. That doesn't make a sense. Make a sense. It doesn't make a sense. I'm a failure. No, you're not. You're just a cabin boy. That's fine. A lot of cabin boys are out there. Cabin boy cam. So when you have something after these words, which you're always going to have, so maybe it's like the room between the dining room and the bedroom. I don't like that one. Let's go with the cabinet between the beds. Between the beds is the prepositional phrase. So whatever is after this, you group it with the preposition, and this makes your prepositional phrase. So between the beds, for example. That's a prepositional phrase. It does not change what your subject originally was. So this stuff is just modifying information. Get rid of it when you want to directly link the subject with the verb to figure out what verb matches the subject, subject-verb agreement. Okay? Very good. Levi. Oh yeah, how's the comedy show? It was quite funny. I laughed a lot, fatality. Tom Segura, funny guy. He's got some Netflix specials. I find him funny. Maybe you will. Maybe you won't.
Sponsored by Tom Segura.
I wish we were.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Ha! Sense. That's very good, not Kuzi. Only Kuzi can see you right now. Levi, what do you want to do?
We got to do number 42. Same thing. Could you erase that, though?
Yeah.
Thanks, Bird.
How much you want to bet the answer to 42 is 42?
I would love to bet that it's not, and I'll bet you $42.
Nerdish bucks?
Yes. 42 nerdish bucks. I will say that the answer is not 42. No? 42 nerdish bucks? I don't want you to do that.
What do you think I was going to do?
I don't know. My first thought was you're going to drool in my hand.
What? On stream?
You always drool in my hand.
I don't do that, guys. Don't listen to what Levi says.
Don't listen to what Brady says.
Well, he was going to peck it because he's a bird. I probably was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just something like that.
Bird pecks in his sleep.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm a sleep pecker.
We did a nerdish sleep study the other day. We went to the hospital, or like one of those smaller hospitals.
The nerdish
doctor's
hospital?
offices. Yes, the nerdish hospital.
Yeah, doctor's office is a miniature hospital.
Just like nurses at doctor's offices are miniature nurses from hospitals.
Is so confused that he turns into a washing machine. Cabin boy, don't turn into a washing machine.
Because he's all turned around, huh? Maybe. Make a fart noise. Susie is behind you. Susie!
Sue's word.
Susie giggled. Yeah. Did you see Susie's reflection? Okay. 42. We have here. Okay, so looking at the answer choices, we have word choice, right? It's clearly not punctuation. We might have to deal with prepositions if the preposition is going to be after the word. Who knows? But it's, what word works here in context best. Let's see. We have, I'm going to read from the beginning of the sentence. Grass carp is an herbivorous fish that eats hydrilla. But the fear was that one problem species would merely be blank by another. Okay. I don't know why one problem species would be rotated by another. My guess is, I'm not looking at the answer choices, but I think we're saying that, okay, yes, so grass carp is an invasive species, that's what they say up here, and then after that they're just saying, okay, well they're going to do bad stuff, but even if we get rid of one, one species could be replaced by another. That's what I would think. It's not rotated. That doesn't make sense. Because rotating something else means you turn that thing. We're not turning these grass carp, so that's no good. Preempted. Let's say you don't know what that word means, so skip it. And then we have supplanted. let's see you don't know what that word means, and then we go modified. Okay, so modified's not going to work here. Modified, but not a bad guess, Kuz. Modified means that one species is modifying the other species. We're not saying that the species has been modified. We're saying that this species modifies another. A fish is not going to modify another fish. It's going to eat it or it's going to run away from it because fish run, and that's it. So A and D are wrong. Preempted means a preemptive attack means what Germany did in World War I. Is the Schlieffen Plan, right, Bird?
The Schlieffen Plan.
It's the Schlieffen Plan, and it worked to an extent. Worked on the French.
No.
No?
No, because they did not beat the French immediately.
Oh, that's not true. Okay.
They had a war on two fronts.
And then they did Blitzkrieg. So, Blitzkrieg was Second World War.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
The Lightning War.
The Lightning War.
They will take Poland.
So, preemptive is not what preempted is not what we want. Did it before the other one? We're not saying that this other species preempted the other one. That you would need to preempt something aside from the existence of the other speech. We're saying that it replaced the other one. C is that supplanted means to you can think of soup being planted in the ground. That'll help. Supplanted, like transplant, right? Planting something, putting it there. So supplanted means you put the other one there. Oh, that will help. Yay, I was right. Yes, you were, Cam. Yes, you were. You're our favorite student. That's not true. We love you all equally. Which is to say, in the capacity that we can, which is nothing. We don't feel anything. Most particularly love. I'm leaving. I'm sad. You're not using... Okay, so you lack 2 apostrophes here and a semicolon, period, colon, or comma fanboys. See, sometimes taking a leap of faith works. Yes. Yes, it does. It always works. Hasn't not, ever. Okay, so we did 42. We did subject and or plural and singular. Def crossed out A and D directly, but I didn't know the meaning of the 2 words. And supplanted felt right. Oh, yeah, supplanted feels so right. Kuzi, you're a bozo. Okay, what's next? We can do another Kuzi question. And then we can do whatever else you guys want. Whatever you guys are into. Just a hot sec, everybody. Yeah, that's not going to help. I posted 3 math questions. I doubt it. Where'd you post them? Oh, Cabin Boy, that was you in math. Okay, yeah, that's where I was looking. Sorry, I thought that was Kuzi. Yeah, let's do a Cabin Boy question, then we'll do a Kuzi question. Okay. Ba-na, 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 ba-na. Yesterday in the math thingy. Bam, we got it, right? Okay, I'm going to go play some GTA now. Goodbye. Yeah, Fatality, that's right. You played GTA. Okay, so we have these 2 lines. And we're told that line L is parallel to line K, these 2 lines being L and K, respectively. Fatality used me for 42. Yeah, but I used Fatality for 42. See, you got to remember that I get nutrients from teaching, from questions. And then teaching is like my carbon dioxide that I fart out of my mouth. I think I put C for this. I don't remember. Huh?
What did you just say?
I think I heard you say... I think I said the answers are like the carbon dioxide that I fart out of my mouth.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. D. Yes, okay. C and D are both right in this case. Guys, you got to come to a consensus, otherwise you're not going to do well on the joint SAT test that you're taking. So we have 2 parallel lines. That is super important. They're not just going to tell us that, okay? And we're looking for the value of P, which is just one of these coordinates here. So you might think, okay, well, I need to find the equation of the line. And that's not a bad idea, right? You have these two lines. If you have 2 points, you can find the equation of the linear equation that goes through them. LOL, can you guys stream all day, every day? Yeah, we can, but we won't because we don't care about you enough. 24-hour stream. Yeah, that's also all day. That's the same thing, Kuz. Bozo.
Do they know that we don't make any money doing this?
Simple Muck. We don't make any money doing this, almost. So I think in total we've made like less than $100 in the last year from this stream. It's probably a little bit more than that.
They paid us, so it was more than 100.
It was more. We made a little bit more than $100 over the course of a year doing this. So you should tell Brady the suggestion about your guys taking the SAT during stream. I might, if you guys play your cards right, I might do that. Okay, we have these two equations, or these two lines. We don't actually have to find the equation of these lines. We need to find the slopes because the parallel lines have the same slopes, right? That is the logical jump you have to make in this question. They give it to you here. They give you parallel lines. Well, parallel lines have the same slope. How do you find slope? Change in y over change in x. Read the chat. So let's find the slope of the top line. We have 2 minus 0 over 0 minus negative 5. And now we're going to set that equal to the slope of line k and have p in there. So we're going to have 0 minus negative 4, 0 minus negative 4 over p minus 0. So let's simplify. We get 2 over 5 equals 4 over p. So then we can cross multiply or just see that p equals 10. Yeah? So p is 10. The cards have been played right. Bird. They said that we should go through an entire SAT on stream.
We could do that.
Here's what I'm thinking. I don't want to do that for you hate yourself. Not an entire. What is happening, guys? Oh, not an entire test. Okay, I understand. Cabin boys, stop hating yourself. Maybe split up the SAT into thirds. Yes, that's a great idea. We'll split it up into equal thirds. I know what you mean. That's not a bad idea. There you are. Your name's Presto. What's up with you? Okay, so real quick, yeah, keep your voice down because nobody else can hear. So I'm thinking that on the next QAS or TIR for the ACT, we could go through that test once those results come out, and we can just go through everything. This is too easy though. My name is Presto. What is the cap? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we did this one. Kuz, we can do a you question, and then my name's Presto. Do you have any questions to ask us? Will that be before or after August 24th? That would be after August 24th. It does not serve you to watch us go through an entire test. Because unless you took that entire test. And even then, I think it's more useful. Cam, remember, just and then there's nothing. There's nothing left of you. No personality, no pain, no stress. What I would recommend is going through these tests yourself and figuring out the ones that you don't understand, and then we'll do those. But going through an entire test is not necessarily a good idea. A simple monk. Yes, that's a good idea. You should definitely find yourself a mantra and say it to yourself over and over while you meditate. That's actually not a bad idea. You should do that. It can help with stress. You know what helps with stress? Bird. Bird helps with stress a lot. I get stressed, I just pet Bird, and then I transfer my stress to him. Just like I do with Alta Ipsum, if I were you. Because Alta Ipsum is an app. Huh?
Alta Ipsum is almost like the Industrial Revolution was to pre-industrial England, except instead it's almost like it's a revolution.
I have not been paying attention to anything you've said.
I haven't either. That's the problem.
It's too early for the ads. The only reason the ads are late normally is because we forget them.
Alta Ipsum is my favorite. I use it all the time. It's how I organize my life. I was nowhere before I had Alta Ipsum, and now I'm everywhere.
What is happening in chat right now? Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next question. Or Bird's gonna go to the next question.
First month is free, absolutely. Yo, the hot guy on the left is done with your BS glasses guy. Checks Mixer 2000, right? I'm so done with this guy. Oh gosh. Hot guy on the left. BS glasses guy.
Oh, this is fun. You'll
Ooh,
like this.
I like this.
Yeah.
Elmo. They said Elmo.
Yeah.
Teach us some diff equations, please. Cabin Boy's deceased. Absolutely not. We're not going to do that. This is not that kind of a stream. Okay, we're not those kinds of guys. And the fact that you thought we were is insulting. We do ACT, SAT, and anything that's like mildly related to that. I want to do this.
Do it.
Who do you think you are going into someone's streams and not following? What does that mean? My name is Presto. Consider the table shown at left. All right, so what that means is first, we have to consider it. Thank you for the follow. Let's consider it, Levi. What do you think about that?
Okay, yeah.
Have you considered it?
Yeah, I've considered it, but I don't really want to tell you how I feel.
Why?
Because I've repressed.
Fully?
Yes.
Well, at that point, you don't even know what you feel.
But I know I feel. I know that I feel.
I thought that if you repress enough, you don't feel.
No, that's a good point. No. I almost
Fun.
finished that word.
Fun. Levi, you can tell us your problems.
Tell us your problems.
We've now considered the table
Share
at
your
left.
problems.
Whenever it asks you to consider something, take at least a minute.
Yeah.
Look at it, scratch your chin if
and
you have
talk to the person sitting next to you taking the SAT.
especially if the hot guy to your left has like a BS glasses guy to his right. That's the situation we want to talk. Repress isn't it. It's not exactly disassociate, it's dissociate. Dissociation, you'll see. Anyway, doesn't Levi wear glasses?
Not today.
Not today!
I have my contacts.
He's got his contacts. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Anyway, we've considered it. What is the value of g of f of -1? Very good. All right. G of f of -1. Functions nested inside of functions. You want to work on the middle function, the innermost function first, and then work your way out. Middle function first. F of -1 is what's going on inside. Forget the fact that we're in G. Doesn't even matter. A fish does not care that it's in water because it doesn't know. F of -1, I guarantee you if you go into F of -1's mind, it has no idea that it's inside G right now. I swear to God. All right. F of -1 is what the function is when you put -1 in as its x value. This whole thing is the output of the function when -1 is the input x value. So we go up here. When x is -1, the value of f of x is, you can't see that, 2. It is 2. So that means I can replace what's inside here with 2 and rewrite this. G of 2 is what this is asking. What's G of 2? Whoop, like a magnet. G of 2 is going to be 4. This is 4. That is what this is. So you'd plug it into the box, you'd press enter, and because it's Khan Academy, it'll go, and then if you get to the end of it, it's bum bum bum. No, it's Is that what it is? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Bum 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 bum. Do you like the Energizer Bunny? This channel is full of lambs or sheeps.
I think they're goats.
Goats. Captain America's back, guys. He's not retired. Where's the other guy, G? Other guy, G.
All right, are you done with this or no?
You tell me. I'm actually still picking at it.
Yeah.
No. We'll take the check.
We'll let you know.
Yeah. I'd like some water though. That's okay.
Ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
All right, we're gonna do a koozie question.
Koozie question. Walking down the street, koozie question. That's a question. How could it be walking down the street? Am I dreaming? Oh, I've only seen people walk down the street. But that's a question that's currently walking down the street.
Okay.
I must be dreaming or taking a hallucinogenic drug.
Good.
The square root of 3p plus
The
13
square root of
is
3
equal
people?
to p plus 3.
Okay, so as a thing to recognize in this question is that it asks for the sum of the answers, not just one of the answers.
Oh, that is something that you love, don't you?
I do. I did not receive. Seems like everybody knows it. Kuz, didn't you ask this question? Do you want me to do it or no?
Kuzi, you asked us a question you already know how to do.
Not Kuzi. You're a bozo.
Shh. We're not.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
Then you know what? No, we're not doing it.
Okay.
Unless
we
Levi's
have
gonna do it.
3p plus 13 equals p plus 3. Okay, so we have a radical. We need to get rid of the radical. How do we get rid of the radical? We square it. Just like that. Just like Bird does.
Square
Do that.
only is a 3, which is what Levi did.
Oh, sorry. My bad. So we'll get 3p plus 13 because that cancels with that. And we'll have to FOIL this.
P squared
P squared
plus
plus
6p
6p
plus
plus
9.
9.
9.
Okay, and then we'll
Put it in standard form. Do it. Do it now.
So we get 0 equals p squared plus 3p minus 4,
Yeah.
which will then factor to p plus... No.
4.
No.
P plus 4, P minus 1.
Yes. P plus 4, P minus 1.
Hey, Tindo, 1, 2, 3. Welcome back. The solutions
We've been
are
watching
-4
you,
and 1.
Tindward.
Now.
So,
You gonna talk about?
no, I wanted you to say now as I said so.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Go on.
Now.
What?
Well,
Yep.
these answers
Are.
the answers
But.
for this quadratic equation. But are
For the
these answers
the
solutions
to
this original?
question.
We'll see.
No. Add them together and we get. That doesn't make any sense.
Wait, we have to.
What have I screwed up?
Wait. We just talked. We have to test it back with these.
-4 is extraneous.
That was
Yeah.
what we just talked about. That.
That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I thought you were going to correct me faster.
Oh, really?
Or not blame me for it so immediately.
Do we seriously have to plug it back in? Yes, not
Yes.
QZ. It's not that much work.
Yes. You have to plug it back in because when you're taking the square root of things, you have to be worried about negatives. Because the things we're not allowed to do is take a square root of a negative, or for real solutions, and you're not allowed to divide by 0. So you plug in -4, and no, that's still, yeah, and then it works, but it doesn't.
No, it
actually
does not.
I'm saying it works for this. The
No,
radical.
it works for this.
Not. Let me finish. It works for this, but then it doesn't equal that. Is what I'm saying. Name my. Why do I read it like that? Yeah, just whenever you see radicals, just be a little bit skeptical of your solutions and plug them back in. Got it, Kuzi. Great.
But if you put +1 in, it will work. You can, you'll see. It'll work.
You'll see.
You'll all see. Ha 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 ha. You know what we did just now? We plug it in, when no one is around you. Say, baby, you if you and plug it in, plug it in, plug it in.
Yeah, Kuzi, you know
Acting kind of
Kuzi's got rhythm.
Yeah.
Okay, are we done with Kuzi quiz? No. All right. Oh, you want to do these, Bird? Oh, that's small. Hey, Kuzi, could you give us bigger pictures of the questions you just posted? Because they're very small.
It's Say My
It's-
Name by Destiny's Child.
It's more the text that paragraph. Could you make that bigger?
When no one is around you, plug it in. If you ain't playing running game, plug it in.
The last, yeah, just the second to last one, Kuz. Do we have any more cabin boy questions? No.
I should make that into a little video. Plug it in.
Yeah.
Like I'll take the Say My Name music video, but I'll just change it to plug it in.
Plug it in, acting kind of shady in calling me Brady, not PEMDAS.
It's not PEMDAS. And why don't we say PEMDAS and not PEMDAS? Is there like a reason?
Yes.
Oh.
That's how our forefathers said it.
You acting kind of shady in calling me Brady. Why don't you plug it in?
Are you scared? Are you scared?
Of plugging it in. It might be extraneous. So you gotta plug it in.
All right, sent. Very good. All right, Bird. This is going to be a little bit harder to do because...
Well, you know what they say. I'm a bird.
They do say that.
Caw!
Oh. Is that Susie over there? No.
Cecilia is working 2 jobs because income inequality in this country is spiraling out of control. The first job, that's what it says. The first job pays $8.20 per hour, and the second job pays $14.60 per hour. Each week, Cecilia can work no more than 40 hours because she is a single mother, but she needs to make at least $440. In 1 week, Cecilia works A hours at the first job and B hours at the second job. In which of the following does the shaded region represent the number of hours that Cecilia can work at each of her 2 jobs to satisfy these conditions? Levi, is there a graph?
There is, but I can't have them both up at once.
Okay.
Actually, make that
Cecilia,
good.
she has 2 jobs. The first job pays $8.20 per hour. Anyway.
This is such a bozo. Alright, we got that one. We got that one. And then we'll pull this guy down here. We'll pull him kind of over here.
It's kind of fun.
Do that, and we'll kind of pull that guy. Huh? Is that better?
First job pays $8.20 per hour, and the second job pays $14.60.
What the heck is going on? Dang it.
Levi,
Yes, Bird.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to do this for you.
For me?
Yes. For you, my lord.
Ah, my lord.
Oh,
Levi and I are each other's lords. How are you, my lord?
frustrated, my lord.
Ah.
Where did the... Oh my gosh.
Literally? What is happening?
That? Oh my god. I hate this so much.
Levi hates this so much, guys.
You hear?
My lord. I want to help Cecilia out by telling her what amount of time she should spend in each of her jobs.
Okay. That's about what we're gonna get here.
That looks great. Nosotros somos agricultores. Bum ba dum bum 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 today. Graph those.
Can you read that at all or no?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. At least I know which one's right. Okay. We got a shaded region. Love shaded regions. Okay. She can work no more than 40 hours, but she needs to make at least $440. In 1 week, she works 8 hours at the first job and B hours at the second job, in which the following is the shaded region. Work at each of her 2 jobs to satisfy these conditions. Okay. The first thing we have to keep in mind is the time constraints. She is going to work no more than 40 hours. I feel like when you understand the perspective of both parties in a paired historical passage, it becomes really easy. Yeah, that's a good point. So like we said before, you can devote all your time to one job, or all your time to the other, or somewhere in between, where it's a mix of one. But as you devote less time to one of them, you're able to devote more time to the other. So looking at this, one of these lines should represent the fact that she can work no more than 40 hours. So it should go to 40 for both of them. And it looks like all of them have that line. In fact, all of them have both lines that are correct. So that's not going to help us. We have to figure out where this is going to work. Okay, so we have two lines we're looking at. We have one that goes from 40 down to 40, and then there's the other one that's not as slanted that goes from, it looks like around 30, and then it doesn't really go all the way to the bottom. Let's first talk about the 40 to 41, which is the steeper slope. That is the one that gives us how many hours she can work in each job. So that's why it starts at 40 up at the top and goes to 40 on the bottom, because she can work 40 for either or some in the middle. Shaded region-wise, she cannot work more than 40. So she cannot be found above that line. She's got to be somewhere below that line because she can work 40 hours or less. So one of these answers we can eliminate based off of that, which is C. Take a look at C. The shaded region is above the line that we're talking about right now. So that would mean that she can work more than 40 hours on the x-axis, which she cannot. She cannot do that. Or if she has 40 hours on the x-axis, she can work a little bit more on the y. No, that cannot be right. So that's out of there. The other two options do not violate that. So they show us that she can work less than 40 hours or at 40 hours. So that's okay. So now we have to figure out what's going on with the other line. Where would we shade? Okay, so we have two jobs. One pays $820, the other one pays $1460. She needs to make at least $440, at least that much. So when I hear at least, I think of, okay, so you can be at 440 or above. So this would be an inequality where you'd want to be above something. So the price line, negotiator, I don't know if you guys ever saw that on TV, but it was an ad jingle for Priceline, which I think is like a hotel service, finding hotels, I don't know. The other line that's not as slanted that's our price line. That tells us how much money she's going to have to make. So the reason why it goes to 30 is because on the y-axis, which is B, so the b-axis we're talking about, she works A hours the first job, B hours the second job. The second job pays more, $1460. If she works for 30 hours, that gets her up to $440 by working completely just the second job, which pays $1460. So anyway, that's what's going on. Or she can make more than that. So that less slanted line, we have to be at that line or above because she has to make at least $440. So with A, that shaded region is below that. So that's saying that, oh, if she works $0 hours at both jobs, she's fine. That's not true. She has to get at least $440 to make ends meet because she's a single mother and income inequality is rampant, and it's only getting worse. It's got to be B. B has the shaded region above the price line and below the what's the word I'm looking for? The restriction on hours that she can work line. That's where she's comfortable and she actually can work in there. All right, Cecilia's two jobs, and good luck, Cecilia. It is a tough world out there.
Okay. Great. Bam. Bam.
What is that reflection? Oh, that's what
Bam.
it is. Okay.
Okay. There are some ACT Discord questions. Might do one of those. Yeah. This looks fun. Okay, ask your questions. I'm pulling questions now from the Discord, the other Discord, so feel free to ask yours and I'll prioritize them. That's the wrong way. Okay. This is a kind of fun question. I like it. And I hope you do too. Let me show you. Bird, I'm so tired.
Nice.
Yeah.
15 more minutes.
Okay. Okay, so we have this circle. I think we've done questions like this all the time before. I like how Khan Academy is beginning to incorporate gender inequality into their questions to bring more awareness around the issue. Are they? That's cool. I didn't know they were. I mean, there are definitely a decent number of passages about that in the practice test. Okay, so we have this circle A, and we have B. Okay. B, C, D is here, and E is here. Okay. Now, we're told a couple of things in this problem up here. We're told that AC is 15 inches long. So that's good to know. I'm just going to write in that the radius is 15. Cecilia was an independent woman who don't need no man. I heard that too. Is Cecilia from your problem, Bird?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So we know the radius is 15. We also know that BE is 10. Okay, so this from here to there is 10. Yeah? Okay, now, here's how we deal with this. We're looking for the length of AD. This is what we want right there. How long is AD? This is a classic circle question, okay? With circle questions, your first shot should probably be to draw in a radius to a point that seems to matter. Okay, well, you're not going to draw on a radius up there. You're going to draw on a radius maybe here, right? Because now we have a right triangle. And we know that this is the radius, and it has a length of 15. We know that because B to E is 10, that this has to be 5. And then we can find the length of the third side by doing Pythagorean theorem. So we get 225 equals 25 plus, let's call this x. So that's x squared. So now we have 200 equals x squared. Let's take the square root of both. And to simplify this radical, we'll get x equals 10 rad 2, which I think is the correct answer. Yeah, there you go. Unless I messed that up. But I think I did it right. So the approach with these is to draw in radii where they seem to matter. It's super helpful. Oh, they aren't? Okay, so why? So you're being facetious? Okay, so that's one question. Do we have any more questions in the chat? No, we have no Discord questions. Hey, Bird, you want to do this one? 56?
Sure.
You'll like it. Give me a sec. Can you start erasing that, though?
Yes. Can you?
Nope.
Very good. Cabin Boy, Cecilia is an independent woman who currently does not need a man. Not was. Just because we figured out her question doesn't mean that she is gone. For all x, such that tan of x is not equal to 0, the expression that is equivalent to which of the following? They give us a note. Secant is defined as 1 over cosine. Tan is sine over cosine. Okay, so first off, tan x is not equal to 0. You don't need to use that. The only reason why they say that is because if you look at the fraction they're giving you, tan x is on the bottom. So everything would explode if tan x were to be equal to 0. They're just saying, hey, we know that tan x can't be 0. There's nothing you have to do with that. That's just all that is saying. Okay, so trig identities, basically simplifying everything. So let's get started on this. Take some chunks out of stuff. So we have secant squared x times sine x, and that is all over tan x. Okay, so one thing you can do is turn everything into sines and cosines, and then see how they cross out. So secant is 1 over cosine. So secant squared would be 1 over cosine squared. So I'm going to rewrite the top of this thing. This is now going to be 1 over cosine squared x times sine of x. And the bottom is now going to stay. Do I want it to stay? I am going to actually keep it as tan for right now. We're going to see what we can do to the top. Tan x. Okay? So if we multiply these things together, basically the sine is going to become up top. It's going to be sine x over cosine squared x. Yeah, actually, you know, this is pretty nice. If we have a fraction divided by tan x, you know what? I am going to turn tan x into sines and cosines. I should have done that at the beginning. Tan is sine over cosine. So we have a fraction set equal to a fraction. Sorry, a fraction divided by a fraction, which means we have to do keep, change, flip, or just fraction division. Multiply by the reciprocal. So this right here, this top is going to stay the same. Sine x over cosine squared. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal of what we are dividing by. So this is going to be cosine x over sine x. So let's see what happens. The sines are going to cancel out. So these are done. Bam, bam. We have a cosine up here and a cosine squared down here, which means one of the cosines will cancel out, leaving us with one cosine down here. So cosine x is going to cancel out with the squared here, because this is cosine times cosine. leaving us with just nothing on top, which means that we have a 1, doesn't mean it's a 0, it just means it's a 1, and cosine on the bottom. And 1 over cosine is the definition of secant, which is why it in fact is j, secant x. Plug it in, plug it in. If it is secant x, that means it's 1 over cosine. If you didn't think that, then you're wrong. Anyway, it is j, not Kuzi. Absolutely right. You are completely and irrevocably right. You are indefatigable, which should be pronounced indefatigable, but we just say indefatigable. I think I might have said it.
Indefatigable. You said it wrong the first time.
I did, didn't I? Yes, I'm like, there's something wrong with that. Indefatigable. Yes, yeah. Okay.
We got a CAM question coming up.
I love CAM questions.
Yeah. So does CAM. But I'm going to do this one, unless you want to talk me through it. You want to talk me through it? You got to tell me exactly what to do. Where are we?
Do you want that?
Not really.
Cameraman. Chasmetry. Ew. Tindor. Yeah, I'm gonna point in Tindor.
Aww.
Do you want to read this alternating words so neither of us understand what's going on by the time we get to the end of it?
I did just read it, so I should be fine. But yeah, let's do it. Chris
Spent
208
hours
jogging
and
78
hours
playing
racquetball
this
year.
Next
Year
he
plans
to
increase
his
racquetball
playing
by
50%
and
decrease
his
jogging
by
10%.
by
What
percentage
will
the
total
time
spent
on
these
two
activities
change
if
Chris
follows
his
plan?
yeah, I have no idea what's
Yeah.
going on there.
Okay. Who is Chris and why is he spending so much time running? Yeah, he's actually he's using it as a tool, CAM, to relax. That's what he's doing. Okay, we start with 208 hours jogging. I want to start with pink. Okay, so we start at 208 jogging. And we are going to increase the jogging, decrease jogging by 10%. So down 10%. Going down by 10% means he will have 90% left over. So we're going to do 208 times 0.9. Please let me know if that doesn't make sense. That is a very important concept. And then we have the other one. We have 78 hours. And it's going up by 50%. Okay. So going up by 50% means that we're going to be 150% of the original, right? We're going to multiply by 1.5. If you have 150% of 8, that means you'll go up to 12, for example. So here we'll have 78 times 1.5. Now, that will give us an answer. Bird, can you do some mathematics for me?
What do you want me to do?
I want you to do 208 times 0.9.
187.2.
Plus 78 times 1.5. 78 times 1.5 is its own thing.
Yeah, 304.2.
Together?
Yeah.
So this is, together when we add these, we get, what? Sorry?
304.2.
304.2. Nah. I'm not going to write it again. I'm not going to erase that. 304.2 hours. Now, that's not the question. The question is, what is the percent change from the original total time to the old total time? Get a room. What's happening? Okay. So 208 plus 78, there's an original amount of 286 hours. And then we have to add to that 18.2 hours. So, yes, 304.2 minus 286 divided by 286, assuming parentheses there. Yeah, Cam, didn't you ask this question? Is this you? Does this make sense? Or did you do this and then I made the same mistake as you did? Because I could have feasibly made a mistake somewhere. But yeah, for percent change, shoot, wait, that's what you did? Where does one get the 18.2 hours? The 18.2 hours is just the difference here. So percent change should be it's the absolute value. I mean, it doesn't really.
New minus old over old.
It depends on which direction you're going, but you could use absolute value for percent change. But it'll be new minus old, or original over old. It's just faster to write old. So that's what we'll do here. I sort of found this, but I don't know why I'm circling it now. That's stupid. So 304.2 minus 286, as you said, over 286. That's how I solved it, though, and I used that. I do not know, then, Bird, you want to take a little look-see?
Yeah.
I could have missed something in the wording. By what percentage will the total time spent on these two activities change if Chris follows his plan?
Okay.
208 hours
Times 0.9.
times 0.9. It's weird that in the question, that they have jogging then racquetball, and then they say it changes racquetball then jogging. So maybe they just made a mistake there.
Yeah, they might have made a mistake there. 78 decreases jogging 78 times 1.
Oh, so that is, wait, so you got the right answer, or you don't know the answer yet? Is this just your homework that we're helping you on? Doesn't look like a homework worksheet, honestly. So, okay, he was just making sure he was right. So,
Oh, so we are right.
yeah, we didn't miss something. So,
Be careful how we let it open. It's way colder. It'll.
that's fine, yeah.
So we got 6.36%, right? 6.4%.
Yeah, we did the same thing as Cam.
Yeah.
So, all is well.
4 minutes. That is all we have left.
Okay, we got 4 minutes. What else you guys want? We have,
Levi, we got Bird.
we got me and Bird.
Why are you putting so much on there?
What?
You always tell me not to use that much. You scored it like 5 times.
I have no idea what you're talking about. No, Bird. You can't
Alright.
do that. We don't condone
We do not
water
condone
play.
violence.
Ow.
Yeah, wood glue. I was actually thinking about that. If you're stressed out at school and you're doing some woodwork, then you should get Alta Ipsum and Tite Bond Original wood glue.
Is this type of question a good one for studying? Yes. This is a good challenging percent change question. It requires you to know how to do percent change. It requires you to know how to use. I mean, did you find 10% of the 187 and then subtract that, or did you do times 0.9? Because multiplying by 0.9 is a skill that's very, very helpful on this test.
Yes. Levi,
Yes, but I used a different method than you did.
did you know that the surfaces must be clean and dry? Joints should fit tightly. Apply a heavy spread of glue to surface and clamp for a minimum of 30 minutes. Do not stress joints for 24 hours. Remove excess wet glue with clean damp cloth. Close cap after use.
Okay, so Cam, the way you did it is perfectly correct. It's just not as fast, and you see how I went about it, right? With the 10% off means we have 90% left over. It's not going to save a ton of time versus what you did, but it will help you. Do you understand the exponential decay, exponential growth stuff?
Okay,
Are
so
those equations understandable to you? Because that concept relies on this idea.
and then for your other questions, calculator programs are allowed on the SAT and on the ACT. You cannot have what's called CAS, computer algebra solver, which is on some calculators, but that basically means you can't have certain calculators, like TI Inspire. I do have programs that we put on our Discord that you can download for the TI 83, 84, 84 Plus, all of that stuff. And they do make a couple things faster.
Do you want to do this question or no?
Sure.
All right, and I have to go because I have to make this phone call.
Okay. Cabin Boy Cam, you can't use that. Unless it... You know what? No, you can. There's the TI Inspire, then there's the TI Inspire CAS. So I actually think you're fine with that, as long as it doesn't say CAS on the top of it. Is it hard to set up on 83? It said you could on the thing. It said you could on what thing? Right, yeah, you can use that. Yeah, I said it can have CAS on it. There's the two different kinds of TI Inspires. So you're fine. The amount of water vapor, V in grams, that will saturate 1 kilogram of dry air when the temperature is X degrees Celsius is approximated by that equation. For each increase of 1 degree, what is the percent increase the amount of water vapor required to saturate the air according to this model? Ignore the percent symbol when entering your answer, all that stuff. Okay, it's asking me diary already. Cabin Boy, have you taken the official yet? Isn't this like interest? Yes. Basically what we're doing here, because we're multiplying by 1.07 to the x power, every time x goes up by 1, we are multiplying by 1.07 again. And multiplying by 1.07, so we're just going to say, let's see, 4.04 times 1.07. What this does is it increases something by 7%. This is exponential growth. This is why it's important to understand how you can connect. I have many times. What are you going into senior year, Cabin Boy Cam? Okay, this is how you connect this. If you go up by 7%, that's the same thing as multiplying something by 1.07. Okay, for each increase of 1 degree, and that is the x value, which we have here. For every time x goes up by 1, we multiply by 1.07 again. What is the percent increase in water vapor? It's 7%, because that's what every additional time that you multiply by 1.07, you're increasing everything by 7%. That is the percent increase. Yeah, remember, they give you a lot of information about like what these equations mean. And like saturating 1 kilogram of dry air. It's like, don't worry about what all that means. Just remember what's your x value and what's your y value. You know, what words mean that. For every increase of 1, which is degrees, which is x, for every time that x goes up by 1, what is the percent increase in the amount of your y value, basically? So how much does your y go up every time you make x go up by 1? And that is going to mean we go up by 7% each time. I have many times. Never fails to activate my good old test anxiety. It's okay, we still have 2+ weeks. People start doing the same before. We are Nordish. I'll never forget that. Cabin Boy, are you a senior? Or are you a junior? If you've taken this many times, I assume you're a senior. Is that right? Because you have until December of senior year to take this test. That is the last time you can take it and still have it qualify. So it's not the end of the world if you don't get the score you want. I'm a senior too. Yeah, you got a couple. I'm a graduate already. Oh, okay. So you're taking this. Yeah. Got it. Say no more. So you can take it. It just, you have a limit. There's a deadline for when you can apply to schools. And so you have to make sure that you get this test in before that deadline passes. I need to take it in August, though, because the college I want to get into is during a decision for November 1st. Exactly. Yeah, okay. So this is the last time, basically. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, it's not the end of the world if you don't get the score that you want. If you don't go, I mean, it's great to go to the school you want to go to. I can't. Yeah, exactly. You're going to be fine, right? Yeah, going to college, finding the major you like, sort of getting comfortable with who you are, like that can happen at so many different places. So like, do not feel like if you don't get into this one spot, all is over, all is ruined. Average score is 1500 plus. That is a high score. That's a very high score. Are you sure? Which school are we talking about? Which school has an average score of 1500 plus? Rice. Okay. I don't know much about the stats for different schools, so I don't have anything to comment on it. But apply to a couple schools. Well, I mean, I think you should apply to like So does that mean that the lowest quartile is 1490 and below? That's probably what that is, yeah. 1490 and below. Yeah, okay. As long as you apply some schools that you feel like you're going to get into, like you have a good chance, and then some schools that you know you're going to get into, then you'll have some options. Don't just put it all on a couple schools that are all going to be a stretch. Anyway, the time has come. Today is Thursday, so we will see you guys on Tuesday of next week. Have a good weekend. Remember to get some sleep and repress and dissociate, and you should feel fine. And lastly, don't you ever forget, Levi's not here, so I'm not going to say we, but I guess I would say that I am nerdish.